Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. Welcome to my first ever review. Today I'm gonna talk to you about the Artisan Type-99. So disclaimer, this is not gonna be one of those fancy videos where you get a nice unboxing presentation of the product, blah blah blah. This is purely gonna talk about performance, because I don't have any results to do that. And I just want to help you guys out because I've seen a lot of questions on many Discords, despite the videos that are already out there. Some points have not been addressed the way I think they should have been. So I just want to help you if you want to get that product because it's quite an amazing product and I would highly recommend you try it. But there are just a few things you need to know before spending that $70-80 on that mouse pad. So let's get started. So what is this? This is a QcK clone. To put it simply, it's the same. It has the same performance as a QcK Heavy that you've been using for a few months. This is the best I could describe it. I've been using a QcK for about 7 years. During the whole time that I've played CS:GO, especially at a like semi-pro level. I'm a bit rusty now, but I can still click heads from time to time. This feels amazing. Why? Because it's way more consistent and it's not gonna wear down as much, and it's gonna be affected by humidity as much. If you've ever had a QcK and it's been humid in your area, you've been sweating a bit, the mouse sweat is gonna drastically slow down, and it's gonna be super inconsistent in your games, and that's the last thing you want if you ever want to play at a semi good level. Because it's gonna be a nightmare. On this, I didn't have any issues, even when it was hotter here. This performs just as good as it did on day one. I haven't had to wash it yet. If you've ever had a QcK, you know how fucking dirty it gets. It's so insane. This is perfect. This is a really good mousepad, and the thing you need to know is Artisan is super renowned for their high quality. Um, they have 3 softnesses. I got the mousepad in 3 different types, which is essentially the Xsoft, super plushy, soft, which is a bit less plushy, and the mid, which is a bit harder. Like it has the tiny bit of plush, but it's definitely like a GSR if you ever try that. So the Xsoft is more like a pillow that you can really press your mouse into to get additional friction, even though it doesn't really make sense on this mousepad because it's already, I would say, quite slow. If you like that feeling though, you can always try. And if you don't press at all, it will still slow down the pad a bit. So if you really know you want something quite, how to say, that's quite slow, this might be a good option for you. The safest option you would have, in my opinion, would be soft. Because the soft performs extremely well. Especially if you're like intense situation, you just put a bit more of that pressure. Let's say if you have a low sense like me, you're in a clutch and you have to like get 2 guys. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna be a bit tenser. If you have like insane aim management, blah blah and stuff, maybe you're not gonna be tense at all. But if you're like most people, you just want to have a good CS time, or like, I don't know. I don't have that mouse control, and to be honest, this is really helpful because it helps you slow down a bit, but not too much. And what this does is, in tense situations, you tend to overflake a little. You tend to panic, but this is not gonna make you overflake because you put a bit of pressure. It's gonna slow down your mouse more, but as you flick more, it does essentially it cancels out. So this is why I like the soft, and I prefer it to the Xsoft because the Xsoft has more static friction. That's annoying because when you're like in a tense situation and you have to make little micro adjustments like this, on the Xsoft it's gonna be a bit harder. You're gonna feel a bit more drag, whereas on the soft it just feels right, if that makes sense. It just there is no unwanted drag that you feel when starting your motion. That really feels good. If you want a different experience and you know what a GSR feels like, I would recommend the mid. I don't like the mid. It doesn't feel as high quality. This base is really thin, and I don't know, it just doesn't feel as comfortable. You feel a bit more of that texture. It's not abrasive by any means, but it's not smooth either. It's a little textured. And I don't know. I just whenever I play on this thing, I'm just like, I wish I was playing on the soft or even the Xsoft, which I prefer to this. It feels more consistent, but it has a bit less stopping power and less dynamic friction as well. So that it has the same range of dynamic friction, I would say, which makes it weird because I would like to have a bit more stopping power, if that makes sense. I tend to overflick quite a bit on this, despite the fact that I play on a heavier mouse, you know? Because nowadays people don't play with this; they play with stuff like that, which is even lighter. For me, this is too light. Honestly, if you don't really know, you can get the soft. It's the safest option. I would say for most people, it's still gonna be the best choice. Um, it just feels right. Just get it. It's so perfect. So of course the color is a bit weird, but I don't know, man. This is just the mousepad to get in 2024 if you like tag FPS, in my opinion. Anyways, let's move on to some comparisons. So here I have the Lethal Gaming Gear Saturn Pro, which is why do I have ping here? Interesting. Which is a really good mousepad. This is what most people considered before this was released a good QcK, because it does feel kind of like a QcK, as in it doesn't have that much dynamic friction, but it has less stopping power as well, which I found annoying because when I want to flick, my flick just don't land where I want. I'm always trying to over or like under flick, and it doesn't work for me. Micro adjustments feel a bit easier on the Saturn Pro, but the flick shots, I don't know, man. It's not as good. It's definitely not as good as on the Type-99. It's if you want something super balanced, this is a good recommendation. I have it in the Xsoft here, by the way, but it feels a bit smoother as well. The texture I prefer it a little bit here on the Saturn Pro. The quality is gonna be very similar to Artisan, not gonna lie, but it's not the exact same. It's a bit faster and has different properties, but this is nothing like a QcK in my opinion. So you might not know what this is. This is called the LaOnda X TheWhale Rizz. So LaOnda is a German brand, and TheWhale is the guy who collabed with the brand to make this pad. And I don't know what they called it, the Rizz, because this was probably just a bad decision. Um, it's a super good pad. It's super slow. I got it in Xsoft here, and it just feels like you have so much drag and stuff. This is funny because Bolty didn't even know this existed. Um, I heard like in his live stream he said that recently. I was like, oh, that's weird. Guy, you have all the mouse pads in the world. How don't you know about this? But what's even funnier is the guy who collabed with LaOnda, which is the guy called TheWhale, compared these to the Type-99 and said it was a clone. It has a completely different texture. That's the first thing. So you can't call that a clone. Of course, the base is different. I think he meant maybe the texture speed, but in once again, it doesn't feel the same because this has quite a bit more static friction, where you're gonna struggle a bit more to make micro adjustments. And at the same time, it's quite a bit slower. This is really slow. Honestly, this is like I don't know. Not, I wouldn't say it's a mod pad because for me nothing feels like a mod pad. But yeah, people would call this a mod pad probably because of how much slower it feels there compared to a lot of different things. Like even a QcK is drastically faster than this, which is quite crazy. Maybe a super worn down QcK would match, but anyways, this is not like the Type-99. This is nice if you really want something slow, but it's out of stock. It's in reproduction. They are producing new ones with a slightly different texture. Maybe I know they will come out with new colors, but we'll see what happens. So this is another interesting one because it's also called the Rizz, but it's not the same. Because it's a coded one. It's a custom one with Nacho customs, pretty sure. Anyways, it's the same pad as before, but just with a coating on top of it. This feels quite different because it has a shit ton of static friction. Like to start your movement, you can really feel this initial like drag. As you flick, you feel like it's going fast and then it's coming to a sudden stop. So it's a quite, I don't know how to describe it, but I remember when I had the first GSR, I had this exact same feeling. So if you liked the first GSR from Zowie, you might be better off with this thing. But this feels nice for a while to like do some like stupid flick shots like this, if you hit them. But it doesn't feel that good to me in game. I don't know. I find the micro adjustments just too difficult to make. But it's a super nice pad nonetheless. It's really high quality, but I just wouldn't recommend it for if you don't know what you want to buy. Also, it's quite expensive. It comes at $65, I'm pretty sure. At least it's in stock, unlike the previous version of the Rizz. So the last thing I wanted to talk about is the plushiness, depending if you compare it to different Artisan pads. So here I have, let me show you the Hayate Otsu here. I have the Raiden. This is really tough to show you. But anyways, the Type-99, it feels really plush. And I would say it's the same plushiness as the Raiden Xsoft. It's the same thing. The Hayate Otsu is a bit less soft. But essentially, all three, if you put a bit of pressure on your mousepad, you're gonna feel you're gonna feel your mouse slow down by quite a bit. But it's most apparent on the Type-99 and the Raiden. Even though the Type-99 is already slow, so you're not gonna feel that much of a difference, but it's still gonna slow down quite a bit. On the Raiden, it does slow quite a bit. And on the Otsu, it's okay. It's not that big, because like you feel it's less plush. But that's all I wanted to say, I think. And if you have any questions, leave them down in the comments. I'll be super happy to answer them. And don't hesitate to give me any feedback. And see you on the next one.